What if I told you there was a university that charged students $35,000 for real estate secrets, but the only thing real about it was the money they took? This is the shocking story of how a fake college became a very real business disaster. Between 2005 and 2010, thousands of hopeful students enrolled in what they thought was an elite educational institution. They paid massive fees for exclusive knowledge and insider secrets. But instead of degrees, they got lawsuits. Instead of education, they got exploitation. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most audacious educational scams in modern history, and how it all came crashing down in a $25 million settlement that shocked the world. In 2005, a new educational institution emerged with grand promises and even grander marketing. Trump University positioned itself as the premier destination for aspiring real estate investors. The pitch was irresistible. Learn directly from hand-picked experts, master the secrets of real estate wealth, and transform your financial future forever. But here's what students didn't know. This wasn't actually a university at all. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman later revealed, "We started looking at Trump University and discovered that it was a classic bait-and-switch scheme. It was a scam, starting with the fact that it was not a university. The operation was brilliantly designed to look legitimate. They had professional websites, glossy brochures, and testimonials that seemed authentic. The marketing materials promised access to insider knowledge and claimed that instructors were personally selected experts in their field. The business model was elegantly simple, yet devastatingly effective. It started with free introductory workshops, events designed to build trust and create urgency. These weren't educational seminars. They were high-pressure sales environments, carefully orchestrated to extract maximum revenue from attendees. According to court documents, Trump University used false advertising to lure prospective students to free investor workshops, at which they were sold expensive, 3-day educational seminars. But the deception ran much deeper than simple marketing tactics. The reality was that the supposedly hand-picked instructors were actually independently contracted, high-pressure salesmen paid on commission. These weren't educators. They were professional persuaders whose income depended entirely on how much money they could extract from vulnerable students. The workshops followed a predictable pattern. First, attendees received basic, publicly available information about real estate investing, nothing they couldn't find in a library or online. Then came the hook. To access the real secrets, students needed to enroll in advanced programs costing thousands of dollars. Students were promised comprehensive education, personal mentorship, and access to exclusive deals. The most expensive packages cost up to $35,000. Marketed as investments that would pay for themselves within months through successful real estate transactions. The reality was starkly different. Students received generic materials, overcrowded seminars, and instructors who often knew less about real estate than the students themselves. The exclusive deals were either non-existent or available to anyone with basic internet access. Many students began questioning the value they were receiving. Some requested refunds, only to be told they had signed ironclad contracts with no escape clauses. Others complained about high-pressure tactics and misleading representations, but their concerns fell on deaf ears. As complaints mounted, attorneys began investigating. What they discovered was a pattern of deceptive practices that extended far beyond simple, exaggerated marketing claims. 3 lawsuits were eventually filed asserting that Trump University engaged in a variety of illegal business practices, ranging from false claims to racketeering. The legal challenges came from multiple directions. Former students filed 2 class action suits in 2010 and 2013, alleging fraud, while New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman filed a 3rd lawsuit in 2013, accusing the institution of violating consumer protection laws. Inside the lawsuit, the court documents revealed disturbing details about how the operation functioned. Internal training materials showed that instructors were coached to identify students' financial vulnerabilities and exploit them. They were taught to create artificial urgency, claiming that enrollment windows were closing or that prices would increase dramatically. Students testified about being pressured to max out credit cards, take out loans, and even liquidate retirement accounts to pay for courses. The psychological manipulation was sophisticated, targeting people's dreams of financial independence and their fears of missing out on life-changing opportunities. One particularly damaging piece of evidence was the internal rating system used to evaluate potential students. Rather than assessing educational readiness or likelihood of success, the ratings focused primarily on available credit limits and liquid assets. The investigation revealed that the problems weren't isolated incidents, but systematic issues built into the business model. The university had no accreditation, no qualified faculty, and no legitimate curriculum. The entire operation was designed to generate revenue, not provide education. Former employees came forward with testimonies about the internal culture. They described intense pressure to meet sales quotas, with bonuses tied directly to enrollment numbers rather than student satisfaction or success rates. Some instructors admitted they had no real estate experience themselves and were simply reading from prepared scripts. The marketing materials were particularly misleading. Success stories were fabricated or heavily exaggerated, and testimonials came from paid actors rather than actual students. The whole enterprise was built on a foundation of false promises and manufactured credibility. After years of legal battles and mounting evidence, the case reached its climax. Facing overwhelming documentation of fraudulent practices and testimony from hundreds of former students, the decision was made to settle rather than continue fighting in court. The settlement was substantial: $21 million for affected students, plus another $4 million for the New York Attorney General's office. This wasn't an admission of guilt, but it was a clear acknowledgement that the problems were serious enough to warrant massive financial compensation. The court ruled that plaintiffs would receive 80 to 90% of what they had originally paid for Trump University programs. For many students, this represented tens of thousands of dollars in compensation for their losses. The settlement marked the end of one of the most high-profile educational fraud cases in recent memory. It sent shockwaves through the for-profit education industry and served as a warning about the dangers of unregulated educational ventures. The Trump University case became a template for understanding how fake educational institutions operate. It exposed the sophisticated tactics used to exploit people's dreams and aspirations, revealing how legitimate-looking businesses can hide predatory practices. The case also highlighted broader problems in educational regulation. The lack of oversight that allowed Trump University to operate for years demonstrated gaps in consumer protection that affected thousands of students nationwide. The Trump University scandal represents more than just one company's fraudulent practices. It's a cautionary tale about the importance of educational integrity and consumer protection. What started as an ambitious business venture built on grand promises became a costly lesson in the dangers of unregulated education. The victims weren't just naive individuals. They were people with legitimate dreams of improving their financial situations. They trusted an institution that looked professional, sounded credible, and promised transformative results. Instead, they received expensive lessons in how sophisticated fraud operations can exploit hope and ambition. Today, the education industry faces ongoing challenges with fake institutions and diploma mills. Recent reports show that sophisticated criminal networks are still deploying AI to create thousands of fake students to steal money, with about $90 million disappearing from legitimate institutions. The Trump University case serves as a crucial reminder. Always verify accreditation, research extensively before enrolling, and remember that if an educational opportunity sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Real education takes time, effort, and legitimate instruction. There are no shortcuts to expertise, and anyone promising otherwise is probably selling something other than knowledge. Want to learn about other education scams that are still operating today? Check out our next video where we expose the fake diploma mills that are currently deceiving thousands of students worldwide.